They say sometimes home is where the heart is.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joel from Strong Style Stories, and boy, do I have a surprise for you. I have the man that legitimately scares the hell out of me, so I'm on my best behavior. And he is the only king not to be on the Epstein list. It is King Fale. It's only King Fale.
Yeah,
That was a bit
lucky
of good
I'm
luck not
lucky
being on
I'm
that
not on that
list.
list. Oh my, oh.
You were busy on a different island, and that island was Japan. And
I think this
how
island,
are you,
yeah,
my
was
friend? You all right?
too far. Yeah, good. Thank you for having me on, Joel. Looking forward to talking with you.
Yeah, well, Kevin absolutely loves you, and I mentioned to you before we hit record that he throws up the too sweet and doesn't really mean it, which I think's disgusting because if you too sweet about Luck Fale, you need to mean it. So,
Yeah,
like I
I
said, I'll
love
give you his
Kevin.
address
I love
separately.
Kevin, but I don't care if he doesn't mean it or not. But if I throw it up, he better throw it up himself too. So,
Yeah,
'cause he knows what would happen.
I, he does know. He does know. And it was the New Year's Dash show which me and Kevin talked about. He said that Yoshi Tatsu was really struggling because he was like the Bullet Club hunter and hated it. And then all of the Bullet Club came out and he couldn't do anything about it because obviously he's got that broken neck. And he's just sitting there really awkward. Matt Striker's going, yeah, too sweet. I want to be in Bullet Club, and then you throw up the too sweet for Kevin, and he's like that, and then Yoshi Tatsu just lights into him. I knew you would be Bullet Club, but man, you were a founding member of one of the best factions, and I'm going to say it ever. Um, like all foreign talent to begin with it and one of the most iconic um logos in all of wrestling, and you were there, man. You were a founding member. How does it feel all these years later to know that this has pretty much lasted your entire in-ring career? That's very, very rare.
Yeah, man. Even today, I still think back about it, and I still feel like I couldn't believe I was actually part of this one. And it's been good to us. The brand's been good to us. The logo's been really good to us, and everybody that I've worked with uh, in Bullet Club has been anything but great.
Yeah, well, and I have to say that as you've had some incredible wrestlers in it. You're like, how do you go from Prince Devitt, and they went, okay, we'll go AJ Styles, and you're like, whoa, okay, and then they went AJ Styles to Kenny Omega, and you're like, whoa, and then it just sort of feels like that because they've had that three, that the next leader of the Bullet Club um is gonna be a made man just because it's there. So but it all started with you and Fergal Devitt, Prince Devitt. And how did you guys come about sort of coming into the Bullet Club, and how I know you've been in the dojo system, but how did it all mesh together for it to really start to take off?
I think the secret behind it was before everybody knew about us, or before Bullet Club even started. We were four guys who were already hanging out outside of the tour dates as well, because we all stayed at the dojo. And during that time, we were the only foreigners on every tour, day in, day out, day in and night. And we'd have Matt Green come in once or twice uh, uh, during the tour, and we got really close. But when they pitched the idea to David, and David accepted, they needed somebody, to uh, make him formidable, to jump into the when he wanted to be heavyweight. So that's why I came along. And just that first night when I came back, and and got together with David, the reaction was just crazy. We legit had fans calling the office, trying to get us fired, and our boss at the time would told us the next day, man, they really want you fired. But I guess they saw the really potential of the foreign boys being the heels, and I think that's why they put us together a month later.
And I think for me, the most iconic thing about Bullet Club is you being having Devitt on your shoulders and sort of walking around. I thought that was the coolest thing, and the Prince Devitt, probably the smartest man, is like, I'm going to get on the shoulders of the 6'4" guy that no one's going to mess with. I don't have to walk after a hard match, and if anyone's trying to get anything on me, I'm on top of a man mountain. It's going to be fine. So smart businessman, that boy.
Yeah, very. Oh man, I give it all to him. Man. He's the one with all the ideas and came up with all the beginning stuff. At the time, I was really green. I was new to wrestling, and I didn't really know much. And plus, the Japanese style of training and respect and stuff was so draining. I was actually thinking about, well, is this for me or not? It's probably not for me. And luckily, when that happened, David and the boys showed me how much fun wrestling is gonna be, and that's why we just, hey, want to jump on my shoulder, I'll carry up, and we're just
Yeah,
doing dumb stuff. We're doing dumb stuff that it became cool. Like we're just throwing up the too sweet to acknowledge the past, the guys in the past, and that just blew up, and we just
yeah.
had a lot of fun, and then everybody just jumped on board.
And I think that's why it caught on, because it just looked like you guys were having fun and you were able to do it. And when the group sort of got even bigger, you were just able to do it. And I don't know many people that can say I came from the dojo system. I was in the biggest heel faction the company had really seen, and it's lasted, and it has this huge legacy. Podcasts and books have been written about it, and it all started from this dojo in in Tokyo, and it pulled out some amazing things.
Yeah.
But one of the things that Kevin has prompted me about was you are the in the senpai chair. You're at the back of the bus. I'm For those on YouTube, I've got the tour bus behind me, and I was told that Fale was at the back of the bus, and it's the senpai chairs. What kind of things were going on in the back of that bus, Fale?
I
What
gotta
shenanigans were you
explain.
up to?
I gotta explain properly. For the foreigners, the back seat is the big seat, but in Japan, the big senpais are at the front of the bus. Um, but so when I was back at sitting at the back there, it was me and Tanahashi. I had Tanahashi right on the other side. So really, Tanahashi is so humble; he doesn't want to go to the front. But for me, as a senpai, I was sitting back there with all the young boys, and then would have some of the Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. But man, those two literally would make me cry my eyes out from laughing every time we're on that bus because it's nonstop jokes and
Yeah,
for me it's the white boy jokes and they just go on and on and on and I always say, man, you guys in your white boy jokes just crack me up, and I had tears in my eyes every single time. But we had fun back there, and the young boys back there,
they were
of
doing
course.
they did the impressions, from what I
Oh,
gather, especially when AJ joined, because I was a original Talking Shop
oh yeah.
listener, and you had you had both of them doing an Austin impression, and then suddenly you'd get a Flair walk in, and then they suddenly revealed it was AJ. In my mind, I thought, no, that's clearly Farley doing a fantastic Flair impression, but apparently it was AJ Styles.
Oh, man,
It
it's
sound
so
it's
much fun. It was so much fun.
and that that's what it's all about, really. I think as a fan, if you guys are having fun, it definitely puts it at ease, especially when it's that
Yes.
sort of multi-man tag and
Oh
you're
man.
tagging in. It's like, what can you do that hasn't already been done before in a multi-man? It's having fun and
Yes.
doing different things and doing stuff just to pop you, and
Yeah, you know,
they're pretty sweet.
the Japanese style is just serious, strong style, beat everybody up. You know, big fire. But when I started working with those guys, and before we go in there, let's just go in there and have fun. And if you feel like doing something, do it, because we're all gonna do it. And man, I had so much fun. But recently, like I tell the boys, like joining the HOT, the House of Torture, I was reminiscent of the early days of Bullet Club, where you just go in there and just have fun.
And it was like hold, hey, you thought the Bullet Club were bad, hold my beer kind of thing. And House of Torture, really. We're going to turn off lights and we're going to hit people and we're going to have garrote wires.
Oh man,
We're going to do
it was really
everything we can.
reminiscent of the early days. Oh
Yeah, well, I remember Devitt just said, I'm just going to kick people in the dick. I was like, fair play to you. And yeah, I would hate you if you kicked me in the dick. That, you know,
man,
and
Devin is so smart. Man, this guy's a genius. This was before trolling on Twitter was a thing. He started trolling the wrestlers in Japan in the early days of Bullet Club, and the wrestlers were really offended. They didn't understand that
no.
he's working.
Wrestlers offended?
Oh
No.
my! Like they were, I remember some of them going, "David, are you okay?" They was, "Yeah, I'm just fucking around, man. We got a match next week." Oh man,
Yeah, that's awesome. But also, it's not all fun because you being probably the biggest guy on the roster for quite a while, I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
there's there's a few odd exceptions, but you were sort of full time and you're having to do a G1 in humidity, in tiny travel, in tiny hotels. Um, Kevin would send me pictures of his hotels, and I was like, "Oh, what did you do? What did you do? I didn't know. Did you steal something? Are you in prison? What's going on?" And it's just basically a desk and a bed, and you have to try and work out which one's which. Um,
Yeah.
I assume
If
that's
Kevin's
pretty
struggling,
much if Kevin's struggling and he's yeah.
mhm.
I was like, think of Fale, and he said, "I don't ever think of Fale. What a schmuck," is what he said. I said, "That's disgusting."
Damn it,
I said I
Kevin.
would
I
never
mean,
say that about Fale if I were you, and he said, "Well, you're never going to tell him." I said, I can't lie to the man." So yeah, like I what was it like for you? Because that can't have been, and you were in a lot of G1s. You're on a lot of
yeah, yeah.
humidity
It's
tours, I
um,
call them.
it's a combination of breathing, and then walking through the corridor.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I
yeah, but it was tough. But you still have to go through it. Sometimes you go to towns where they don't have proper hotels; they'll have just little business hotels for people stopping by and going. So you got to endure it, and very being difficult getting into those showers and those toilets. It's yeah, very tough.
yeah, I can imagine, and I think Kevin said to me he was claustrophobic in Corrigan Hall, and I was like, yeah, it looks really enclosed. And I compared it to York Hall, which is the first time that I saw you in real life. It was probably the only time you went to York Hall, I think,
Ah,
because
yes,
it
yes,
was
yes,
Summer Sizzler, and you were against Dave Mastiff, and
yes,
Devitt was against Adam Cole, which was a big
yes, yes.
indie like riffic thing, and then it was we got Bullet Club. You threw him up on your shoulders, and we got a Bullet Club um, tag, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
that's me seeing Bullet Club. Then that's great. I even this is how much of a draw you can message Tiger Artori and say I was a draw in York Hall because I saw you guys do that and I bought a Bullet Club bandana. So that man got my money that night because I was like, well, I'm not going to see them again. And here we are, like 12 years later.
Nah.
It's still one of the biggest selling merch ever. Like it's
Oh
incredible.
man. Here's a funny story. When we came to uh, uh, London that time, the T-shirts weren't sold yet. So the merch you were getting were bootleg.
Yes.
We had such a hard time trying to convince the company that this brand is blowing up. We were telling our boss, hey man, you gotta make our merch, you gotta make our merch. And they just disregarded us just because I don't know, we're just outsiders or foreigners. But then they had the first ever New Japan show in New York. I think later 2014 or 15. And they came back and the boss came. He came looking for me and Carl Anders. He like made it specific to come and see us. Because we were vocal about we need our merch, we need this merch. He came over and he goes, I couldn't believe how much Bullet Club shirts there were in the crowd in America. And I said, people are stealing our shit. Like, we need to make this merch.
Exactly, and one of the themes that I've had because I'd speak to Kevin quite a lot. He would normally go, "Morale's low. I need you to do this Photoshop for the boys." That was kind of my role in it all, and he would tell me that he'd tell me some of the things that was like how risk averse Japan is, and I think that's why it's so amazing to think. Firstly, the fact that we got New Japan World blows my mind because I was like, how does a risk averse place come up with New Japan World and put it out there? This is crazy. But also, like you're saying, it was investing in merchandise for foreigners wasn't really a thing, and they pushed LIJ loads. It felt for me as a non LIJ fan, but
Yeah,
you got to pick a
Bullet Club.
side.
Yeah, so they saw the potential of the Bullet Club blew up, and
Yeah,
that's why because LIJ was the next group that was
yeah,
coming up, so they focused on that, and that's why that uh got pushed so much. But here's a story I'll tell you. Before we before Bullet Club blew up, um, we still weren't on TV in the States. People were still just ordering DVDs or tapes. But we blew up at that era where internet wasn't really, YouTube wasn't really showing, still uploading new videos and stuff. But to make it before all of the internet blew up thing, here's the secret. If you notice, every photo of the group were all wearing the same shirt. That was the secret because we all agreed every shirt that came out, everybody wears them. We all take photos and we put it out on our own social media. And I believe that was the factor that really blew us up because we all worked as a team to take photos and then individually just pushed it out to all our followings. And that I believe that's what changed the game. And the internet and then getting on TV in the States came later, but that's what really changed Bullet Club. That's what made Bullet Club become worldwide.
yeah. And there's people that were I so I used to be a comedian back in the day. I'd do little stints, and I did a show, and I went off my entire thing because I saw someone in a Bullet Club shirt, and I'm in the middle of sort of awful middle of nowhere, just white working class. It was it was a rough gig, and I went up to the guy and I went Bullet Club, and I went like that to him, and he looked at me and I was like, I think this is a fashion item now. I don't think he knows what this is. He just saw it and thought this was cool. Like, and I think coolness is one of the big things that's missing in pro wrestling a lot of the time, because it was
Yeah,
cool, and it
it
was
was.
completely different.
You're right. Being uh, called a wrestling fan was it was embarrassing back then during that time, because wrestling was so boring and so fake at the time. Um, so another thing that we decided was, whenever we come up with a T-shirt design, it has to be something that you can wear anywhere. And imagine going to a nightclub wearing a shirt, one of our shirts, as something you can go out with. And that's one of the things. And I have a similar story. I'm not sure which country it was. I saw somebody wearing the Bullet Club hat, and I walked up, just say, "Hey, too sweet," and they looked at me like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And then
I'll be
that's when I
honest, with
realized,
me
oh,
walking up
it's
to
fashion.
someone, it's yeah.
Yeah,
Me walking up to someone doing it, like, I can understand, but you, as like,
yeah,
dude, I'd just be like,
yeah.
I created this. In my mind,
But
I'd like
you're
to
but
think
you're
that you
right.
slapped the
Yeah,
hat off him.
but you're 100% right. The fashion side of things is what blew up that shirt. Everybody could wear it. It looks cool, even though if you're not a wrestling fan, you're just gonna buy it because it looks cool.
Yeah, and people were doing different things with that logo. I know Luke Gallows would wear it across his face with the bottom of the skull bit,
Yeah,
and have it across, and as well as all the face paint and stuff. But you got the big man coming out with a cigar wearing it. That's a look of, yeah, it kind of ticked all the boxes, which is pretty cool. But now you're training the next generation to be cool and hopefully come up with various fashion items for New Japan. I know we can see the ring behind you and the dojo, and I know you've had a documentary that was on World about it as well. Do you want to let everyone know? Come to New Zealand; it's paradise.
yeah, you're right.
Get beat up
That's
by
one.
Fale, which isn't quite paradise.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the safest countries in the world. You're far away from any war, so
Yeah,
come to New
yeah.
Zealand if you want to be a wrestler and if you want to be safe.
And if you want to be a safe wrestler, boom, double
Oh,
whammy.
there you go.
But
Yeah.
and that documentary, I did watch it all in one go, and I thought you came across really well. It's always fun to see you shouting and slapping about some kids, especially. Yeah, hit him again, uh, so I don't know if that's still on World, but people should definitely seek that out, because
It's on
done right.
YouTube,
And
on the New Japan YouTube now. So if you just look up
oh, nice.
Lions Raw, no, yeah, Lions Raw on the New Japan YouTube, it'll be on it.
That's that, and it's well worth your time, because it's fantastic. So much so that Kevin would set me up. I don't know if you remember this, but Kevin said, I've got a friend who knows people in TV in the UK. Here's his email address." I was like, "Why did you stitch me up? This is a no-win situation. Like, I could get him a deal and it sucks and he'll kill me, or I don't get him a deal at all and he'll kill me. What are you doing? What I would rather you ask Yano if I could distribute his DVD. Why are you giving it to Farley?" But I did say that you've got the better establishment. That Kevin, another thing he does is he always talks about Yano's place. But I said, don't forget, Farley's got a wonderful place where you can have a coffee and get some. Do you still have it? Because is that you still got your establishment in Tokyo?
No. I got rid of that in 2018. I had it for two
Oh,
years and it was just too much work. Too
yeah,
much work, and plus I'm not
smart.
based there.
'Cause
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah,
experience, man.
it's smart
That place
because of
was
the
always
pandemic.
loaded. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
I
a good thing.
still the better establishment. I don't care what Kevin Kelly says. I one of the that would have been one of the places to go. But now you're in New Zealand, absolutely smashing it. And I've taken up a lot of your time because you've got some New Zealand youths to beat up, and get them to do the dojo stuff. But absolutely lovely to see you, man, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking Bullet Club. And you've got an invite for life. See what I did there?
See, I see what you did there. Thank you, Joel, and yeah, say hi to Kevin. Tell him next time he too sweets me, he better mean it.
Oh, I've already sent. I already messaged him, and he went. Oh, I will. And I was like, look, you're lucky. I'm a good friend, and I'm such a good friend that I've told him the error of his ways, and I'm an even better friend for really like stitching him up and telling people. So there you go. Well, thank you
Yeah,
very
thank you,
much,
Joel.
and you take care.